Today we're looking at remote power options for gas-operated classic airsoft guns. If you've just bought a classic airsoft gun and are unfamiliar with how to use it, you might be confused as to how to power it. While it's true that some classic airsoft guns do have an internal gas tank, like GBB pistols, almost all of them can also be connected to a remote gas system, which provides longer runtime or additional power. The simplest of which is a green gas remote. This particular model is made by Jack. The green gas remote takes a full can of green gas here, it screws into this metal manifold. Make sure that you get a green gas canister that has threads on the neck. Some do not. If you get one that does not have threads, it cannot attach to the remote. This is a twin can system, and it's so called because you take an empty green gas canister and screw it in here. The full can will then empty half its contents into the expansion canister, increasing pressure stability and minimizing the risk of cool down. This particular model also has heat sinks here, aiding in thermal expansion. A flexible hose connects this gas system to your gun by means of this quick disconnect coupling. There are simpler single can remote systems which do not have an expansion chamber, and there are more complicated multi-can remote systems which have several expansion canisters in series. The more expansion canisters you have, the more stable your pressure will be, but the bulkier your system will also be. Moving up from that, you have this CO2 remote by KWC. This one uses 12-gram CO2 cartridges like used in many Crossman or Daisy BB guns. This has an adjustable output regulator at the top. By adjusting the regulator, you can adjust the velocity because you adjust the pressure being fed into the gun. One tick up from that is a larger CO2 style regulator, paintball regulator. This is a Palmer's Pursuit Shop stabilizer. This is the high-end regulator. There are many cheaper options on the market, but this is sort of the creme de la creme. This can use paintball style CO2 tanks as well as paintball style high pressure compressed air or nitro tanks. Again, this connects to the gun by means of a flexible hose and a quick disconnect coupling. This also has an adjustable regulator at the top. By adjusting the pressure, you adjust the velocity being fed into the gun. The important thing with these regulators is to get a low pressure spring pack. Most of these regulators come from the factory, they're able to adjust from 0 to 800 psi. Most airsoft guns run from 45 to 150 psi. 45 on the low end for some guns like Toytech P90s, 150 psi on the high end for a very thirsty Sun Project M16, but very seldom above that. These regulators are always the most accurate in the middle of their regulation range. So if you get a regulator with a high pressure spring pack and then ask it to regulate to down to 60 psi, you're going to get greater pressure variation than you would with a low pressure spring pack. This has a 0 to 300 psi low pressure spring pack in it, so it will be much more stable in those low pressure ranges. Up from that is a compressed air tank. This is made by Nikon. It looks gigantic, but it really isn't. It's about the size of a 2-liter soda bottle and fits in your tactical pack quite nicely. The interesting thing about these is that they fill with a standard tire fill valve. You can fill these with an air compressor or even a bike pump in a pinch. You can get one of those little 12-volt air compressors that plug into your car's accessory outlet, and you can fill these in the field. This has an adjustable regulator at the top, and the nice thing about these is because they fill with compressed air, over time they will pay for itself because the amount of money required to refill the tank is, well, pennies. That's about it. Happy gaming.